It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker this evening, Karen Jensen. This is really fun. Karen is a Nevada Women's Fund Scholarship alumna. She received scholarships from Nevada Women's Fund in 1993. Sorry, Karen, I'm aging you here. And 1994. Her scholarships were from the Nell J. Redfield Foundation, who still today is providing scholarships to Nevada Women's Fund. After earning 2 bachelor's degrees, one in psychology and one in communications from Chapman University, Karen moved to Reno to launch her career. She quickly realized, however, she needed more education to keep advancing. When the University of Nevada didn't offer a master's program in human resources, Karen first completed her professional development certification in HR, but then set her sights even higher. She was determined to reach the director or vice president level, so she returned to Chapman's satellite campus in Sacramento for her master's degree. For 3 straight years, without a break, Karen commuted weekly between Reno and Sacramento for every evening class, all while working full-time. How many scholarship recipients in this room are working full-time while going to school? Raise your hand. Yeah. Karen's Nevada Women's Fund Scholarship helped cover travel costs, which included her gas, back and forth over the hill, maintaining her rear-wheel drive 1979 Nissan 280ZX, and on snowy nights when the pass was closed, can you imagine, the occasional budget-friendly but safe hotel. That determination paid off. After more than a decade in the corporate world, Karen not only reached her career goals, but surpassed them. She founded HRC Limited in 2004, and over the past 20 years, HRC, which stands for Human Resources Connection, has become one of Northern Nevada's premier HR consulting firms, specializing in employee retention, recruitment, and leadership development. With 3 college degrees and over 3 decades of HR and business experience, Karen continues to help leaders elevate their most valuable asset, their humans. She is also a dynamic, inspiring speaker, known for motivating others to lead with confidence and reach their highest potential. We are so fortunate to have a Nevada Women's Fund Scholarship alumna here with us tonight as our keynote speaker, and her keynote is entitled From Dreamer to Doer. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Karen Jensen.
Wow, what an incredible evening this has been so far. First, let me say to you, congratulations to each and every scholarship recipient, the donors out there, and your friends and your family who came here to support you tonight. You have earned something powerful, because a scholarship isn't just about money, it's about belief. Someone believed in you, your dream, your potential, your story, and they invested in it. But more importantly, you dreamed and believed in you. And before I say anything else, I want to pause and say this. This moment, right here, right now, is more than a celebration. It's a celebration of your resilience, your grit, and of what happens when you don't give up on yourself. And celebration is how you build momentum and joy in this journey. And while we're on that topic, full disclosure, when I was sitting there as a scholarship recipient many years ago, I never dreamed in a million years that I'd be up here talking to all of you, sharing my story tonight. But life has a way of surprising us. Sometimes we don't even dream as big as it could be. And sometimes the paths we walk, even the hardest ones, bring us full circle. I can't even begin to tell you how honored I am to be up here tonight. This room is overflowing with possibility, community, connections, and doers. All converging into one place at one time. And that is so exciting because all of you have the unshakable belief that the future can be brighter because what you choose to do with it. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna switch gears here a little. I'm gonna share a little bit about my backstory and how I got here tonight, in the hopes that it provides some encouragement, some inspiration, maybe some insights, since I received my scholarship. This could be a little heavy, and that's not my intention, but I do believe some of you will resonate with my story, and although our stories, they might be different, it's what you do with your story that matters. I will start by saying this. As a child and a young person, I certainly wasn't dreaming. I was literally just trying to survive. I grew up in a small town in Northern California. My parents divorced when I was 2, and my mom remarried almost immediately. And the man that she married had 2 sons that were much older than I was. All 3 of these men molested me, my stepdad and both my stepbrothers, starting when I was 6 years old. On top of that, my mom was often physically and verbally abusive herself. Even after I told her what had happened over all the years, she refused to divorce him until I was 16 years old. Unsafe and unstable only scratched the surface of what my childhood truly was. By my teenage years, I was struggling deeply, so much so that I attempted suicide more than once. I almost failed high school. I used drugs and alcohol as a coping mechanism. I truly didn't believe that life was worth living. And if it wasn't for my group of best friends and their families, who basically let me stay at their houses anytime I wanted, I don't think I would have made it. But I did. And miraculously, I was accepted, as Isla said, into Chapman University, my dream college. Not sure how, considering my GPA. Remember I said I almost failed out of high school? And all the things you're supposed to have, band, school involvement, sports. I had very little of that. But I was vulnerable, and I told them my story in an essay, and they took a chance on me. For me, that acceptance letter was more than just permission to attend school. It was a lifeline out of my house, a new beginning. It reminded me that maybe I did matter after all. I left home and never looked back. And I grabbed that chance I was given. I worked 30 hours a week to pay for school, joined a sorority, go DGs, went to class for not just one, but 2 bachelor's degrees. I really grabbed that chance. One which required some kind of rehearsal almost every single night. It was busy, but it was the most amazing experience of my life. In the middle of that chaos, and the chaos that I grew up in, I found strength that I didn't know I had, mainly due to the fact that my college roommate introduced me to the Lord. And finally, after 5 years, I ended up graduating magna cum laude with departmental honors. You guys are too kind. After college, I moved to Reno and I got my very first HR job making $6.47 an hour with 2 college degrees. But I was promoted from employment screener to employment manager within 6 months of starting. I was 23 years old, responsible for staffing 3 casinos, 1,800 employees, with a team of 7. As Isla said, I loved HR, but I knew if I wanted to become an HR director or an HR VP, I had to further my schooling. So the story goes, it was a Saturday, and I was at work trying to catch up on a few things when I heard an ad on the radio from Nevada Women's Fund offering scholarships to women. I applied, she told you, they granted me 2 scholarships, and that was the push I needed, and I began my 3-year trek over the hill to get my master's degree. After I graduated, doors began to open like crazy. I got my first HR director job, and eventually I started my own business, HRC, with a 2-year-old in tow, and that 2-year-old is here tonight. Obviously, she's not 2 anymore. That is a wild experience right here, right now, I will tell you. I had really no intentions of starting a company per se. I just wanted to be able to work at HR at a high level and at this point raise my baby girl. But slowly, HRC began making a name for itself. I was getting more and more clients. I hired an employee, and then I had my second baby girl. At the time, I used to say, I was a stay-at-home mom. When people asked me what I did, I would say, I'm a stay-at-home mom who pretends she's a business owner, or a business owner who pretends she's a stay-at-home mom. It depended on the day. Life was unfolding smoothly, and everything was on track, and we even survived the recession of 2008. But success never goes in a straight line, does it? In the first 3 months of 2017, everything seemed to fall apart at once. My marriage of 17 years ended. My stepmom of 45 years, who really was my mom, died suddenly and totally unexpectedly. And I got very ill, imagine. And I had a surgery that basically they said you have to be in bed for 3 months, and I couldn't do that. I had a business, 2 kids, all the things, divorced. And so I would sit in my couch like a pilot in a cockpit and run my company. Yeah. So I felt like one of those punching bag clowns that you know when we were kids, punch it down and it pops back up. It was a season that could have destroyed everything I had built, but it didn't. HRC survived, and I survived. In fact, HRC not only survived those storms, we survived COVID, helping many, many companies through that experience in what I believe was a monumental way. My team and I think there might have been 3 of us at the time, we created and facilitated an online weekly webinar with experts in all the fields: employment law, public relations, finance, HR, healthcare, to provide all the necessary updates to the changing things that COVID caused us every minute of every day as companies and our country. We would have up to 100 business leaders on this webinar every week. It was free and anyone could go that wanted to attend. I think, in addition to the expertise, of course, that all the folks that we had on the webinar, of course that helped everybody, but I think it was the support, the emotional connection that we didn't have during those times. Which brings me to current day. HRC just celebrated our 21st year of being in business. We have served over 700 clients, and I have spoken to over 5,000 people on leadership and HR skills. I do just want to share 2 really quick stories with you. 2 wins, love the wins. Last year, I got asked to do this keynote in Columbus, Ohio. And they were doing a conference, an HR conference, and they'd never met me, only over Zoom, and they paid me some big money and flew me out to Columbus, Ohio to do this keynote. This was a moment of feel the fear and do it anyway for me. At 4 a.m., I'm driving down 395, sobbing with the worst, and I'm telling you, the worst imposter syndrome anybody could ever have. Still bawling as I got on the plane and everyone is laughing at me like I'm crazy. I wanted to call in so bad and just say, you know, I'm really sick. I don't have a voice. I mean, anything to get out of it. But then on my headphones, this song came on that I'd never, ever heard. So I'm loading, I'm crying, this song comes on. It's called Quiet by Hillside. The lyrics talk about when our thoughts and feelings are crazy and they're unending and we feel completely alone, which I did, that if we are just quiet, the noise in our head will stop and God will help us fight our battles. Amen. Which of course, in that moment, made me cry harder. But I was relieved at the same time, right? So I sat down in my seat next to this guy, still have my Beats on, and I'm prepping, which, you know, for those of you who don't know what that means, you got a binder and you got papers and you got highlighters and pens, and I'm doing all the thing and I'm mouthing my words, I'm listening to music and I'm trying to get pumped up, you know, and the plane starts to land, I take my Beats off and he goes, "What are you prepping for?" I was in the middle seat too, by the way, poor guy. And he said, "What are you prepping for?" I said, "I'm doing my first out-of-state keynote." And he said, "Just watching you get ready right now, I didn't hear one word you said, but you have the most amazing energy and you are going to do just fine." Right? That song and that man gave me the courage to get on and off that plane to deliver that keynote. And my other story, just a few weeks ago, I got to co-chair for our local HR organization, a legal conference for HR people and business leaders. And I was given the opportunity during this conference to moderate the fireside chat in front of 200 people with our keynote presenter, who is probably the highest level HR person in this country, if not the world. And I had never, moderated before. No pressure. But once again, I took the step afraid, and he and we nailed it. Outside of HRC, the proudest and most meaningful accomplishment of my life is that through all of what I just told you, I raised two of the most articulate, smart, beautiful, kind, loving two women in the entire universe. Small exaggeration, but you mommies understand me, right? So my oldest, Taylor, she just graduated from the University of Hawaii a couple months ago, and she's home for good. Thank you. And my youngest is a sophomore at University of Oregon. I need to say this out loud. Through the fierce love that I carry as a mother and the strength of my faith, I broke the generational curse of abuse that once shaped my life. What felt impossible ends with me. In life, we have forks in the road. So that means we have choices. We can either succumb to the trials, the challenges, and the darkness and let them define us, or we can choose to use those trials to push us further and rise above them. It takes courage to not succumb to the challenges. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about doing it afraid. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. When Isla asked me, Karen, you want to be the keynote speaker? There's going to be over 500 people in the audience. I said, I'd love to, Isla. And I walked away in private, did a happy dance, called my employee, Chrissy, told her, and then the panic set in. But I said yes, so here I am. Fear will always be present when you're doing something new, something big, or something that really, really matters. That's where having faith over fear comes into play. You can't wait till the fear goes away. Take the step anyway. So much of my story is just really about taking the steps one at a time, one after the other. And sometimes you just have to fake it till you make it. You have to you have to stay the course despite the setbacks, despite the naysayers, and despite the inner critic in your head that says you can't do it. We all know life doesn't go according to plan. You stumble, you face roadblocks, you may even feel like you're going backwards, which makes me always think of my punching bag friend. You can knock me down, but I am getting back up. Setbacks are not the end. They are what give you the knowledge and the courage for what's ahead. Because everything that you've gone through in your past will get you where you need to go. And one other thing that takes incredible courage, especially for women, I want you to all really be listening now, is the courage to take care of yourself. Your whole self, your mind, your body, and your spirit. If you burn yourself out, you can't continue to pursue your goals, care for others, or show up fully for anyone, including yourself. So a couple thoughts on this. Rest. Yes, I said it. Protect your physical and mental health at all costs. Have solid boundaries and create space for yourself. And stop when you're tired. When our phone is out of battery, we charge it. When our car is out of gas, we put gas in it. Why don't we do that for ourselves? No is a full sentence. And you don't know anybody, any reason for your no. Also, one of the most important parts of self-care is choosing your community and your close circle carefully. Surround yourself and spend energy with people and organizations that fill your cup, not drain it. It's important to note, and I'm going to say it, I don't have courage and self-care down perfectly. Heck no. I have to consciously practice both every day with intention, but I believe that's how we ensure we can keep going for the long run. I shared my story because I want to help others rise, especially women. And tonight, I was given that opportunity. This was a dream to doer moment for me. This is the first time I have ever shared my personal story publicly. I don't really share it privately, but I believe it needs to be shared. I'm starting tonight with all of you because I believe abuse is a disability that is crushing our country and that needs to be spoke about and brought into the light. I wasn't supposed to succeed. I shouldn't have succeeded. I had all the roadblocks against me, but I didn't give up and I never give up. And thanks to my faith and the support of my people and to organizations like Nevada Women's Fund, I got myself to this moment. And so did each of you. So I want to close. Hopefully you're not thinking I'm glad she is. I want to close tonight and end by saying this. Thank you to Nevada Women's Fund for once again believing in me so I could have this dream to doer full circle moment speaking to all of you. And for all the other scholarships in this room, all 100 of you, thank you for allowing them to begin their dream to doer story right here, right now. This is your moment. What will you do with this chance that you've been given? Take steps forward with everything you have and never, ever give up. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I cry now? Thank you. Thank you. I have no words.
Everyone has a story. Everyone in this room has a story. Tonight, it's about courage and taking the next step forward, not letting fear stand in front of you. We believe in you, scholarship recipients. We are here for you. We are inspired by you. Who can imagine 20, 30, 40 years from now, who's going to be on this stage that's going to have a story? I was a Nevada Women's Fund Scholarship recipient. I've now created a beautiful story of my own. I own my own company. I've raised 2 beautiful children. Who knows what the story will be? But that's what's so exciting in this room is you all have a story that you get to write, and it begins right here because Nevada Women's Fund believes in you, the donors in this room believe in you, and you believe in yourself. Karen, wherever you are, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Girl, you killed it.